What's up, my friend? David Moss Jr. here, and I have cold plunged every day for 500 days straight. 500 days of cold plunging, and I've learned a ton. And as somebody who puts a lot of content on the internet about cold plunging, I review a lot of products. I want to answer the top 5 questions that I get on a daily basis from people all over the world on cold plunging and what I've learned from doing it for 500 days. So here's the top 5 questions. If you have any additional questions, pop them down in the comments below at the end of this video. But let's get into it. Question number 1, what is the biggest change you'll actually notice? And for me, it was mental resiliency. I was dealing with a lot of brain fog before I journeyed into cold plunging and started doing it on a regular basis. And brain fog is such a pit. Like, I could go through an entire day and have a productive day and have some great conversations and do some great things, but just really not remember it. Just kind of feel like, holy crap, like I'm totally in this rat race. I'm stuck in this rut. And getting into cold water melted it all away. It's like I was able to deal with stress a little bit easier. I was able to deal with decision making a little bit easier. I was able to be more present. So for me, it was mental resiliency. It's the biggest change I noticed the fastest. And I will tell you this, if you're watching this video and you have yet to purchase a cold plunge, or you're thinking about doing a DIY, or you may just be able to go jump in cold water, I will tell you this, I started doing cold showers. And then I quickly transitioned from cold showers into ice in water using a horse trough. But very fast after that, I live in Florida, so it's pretty hot. Very fast after that, I built a DIY, and now I get to review a bunch of great products like this one behind me. This is the Desert Plunge. And I will tell you this, Desert Plunge is a great company I do recommend. So if you want to do more research or you want to purchase a Desert Plunge at the end of this video, I'll have a link down in the description below with a discount code. Feel free to check it out. It saves you a lot of money. And this is a really cool cold plunge. We'll get into a little bit more of it later as I talk about some of the things I've learned. But to me, the number one thing I think people will notice the fastest is their mental resiliency. Their brain will feel clear, and they'll be able to make decisions a little bit easier, and you feel it almost instantly. Okay, question number 2. Do you actually need to cold plunge every day to experience benefits? And the answer to that is absolutely not. You could feel the benefits cold plunging doing it just one time if you do it right. And by saying doing it right, I'm actually telling you, you don't have to do what you see a lot of influencers doing. So many influencers and celebrities and athletes are getting into icy cold water for 15-20 minutes. That is not necessary to experience benefits of cold plunging. Though a lot can happen and a lot can change, and we all are biodiverse, so we can all handle and experience different things and feel differently from them, I will tell you that if you've never cold plunged before, maybe walking into your shower and turning it as cold as possible and just being in that cold water for 1 minute, you'll experience benefits for hours after that. Or if you've done that before, maybe it is time you invest in a cold plunge that has a chiller. And the reason you want a chiller like this is because you can manipulate the temperature, and you can change the temperature throughout the seasons, and you can change the temperature as you become more resilient to those water temperatures. If you have a wife or a spouse or kids and they want cold plunge too, it's highly recommended that you don't jump in really freezing cold water for a long period of time. I would recommend starting with 1 to 2 minutes at 55 to 65 degrees and seeing when you get out how you feel. I will tell you this, the very first time you get into that water, for any amount of time, whether it's your first time doing it or your 500th time doing it, it sucks. Nothing about jumping in this cold water feels good when you're getting in. It's when you get out. So just keep that in mind. You will feel better after your very first cold plunge, in my experience and so many around the world. You got to try it for yourself though. Okay, question number 3, and this is a really important question so many ask, and that's what temperature is best. Though I kind of talked about it on question 2, the temperature, you got to think of it as this. When you go into the gym, you don't max out every day. You don't max out every muscle every day. You change it. You do things a little differently. Sometimes you change the reps. Sometimes you change the weights. You change the time in the gym, right? Your cold plunge is the same. You don't have to get in the same temperature for the same time every day, though so many people talk about that. And this is why I personally love having a chiller, once again, to manipulate that temperature, to change it, to challenge myself, and sometimes to change it even higher. Personally, I really like between 50 and 55 degrees. Personally, that's what I love. I love 50 to 55 degrees, and I love being in there from 2 to 3 minutes. Can I stay in longer? Yes, but is it necessary? No. Can I go colder? Yes, but is it necessary every day? No. Could I stay in there freezing cold water for a long period of time? Honestly, probably not. And I don't think that's necessary. So for most people, I would highly recommend you start between 50 and 60 degrees. For the varsity people out there who just really need that challenge, maybe they're athletes and they've been in ice for a long time, they've done it for a long period of time in their life, go under 50 degrees, go all the way to 32 degrees, go to ice if you absolutely want to. The cool thing about this is you get to change it for yourself, and every body can handle stress differently. If you've never cold plunged before and you're not a healthy person, but you know that this is something that you want to try, man, start with cold showers. This is a great opportunity to just start with cold showers. Fill your bathtub up with the coldest water you can. Throw a little bit of ice in there if you really want to. But I would suggest that you take the time and the opportunity to change the temperature and the time of your cold plunge to figure out what works best for you. Don't compare yourself and your cold plunge experience to the other people out there that are influencing and trying to sell you a bunch of cold plunges and all this stuff. There's so many, and I review so many of them. You'll notice on my channel that there are some that I frequently talk about, like Desert Plunge. It's a reputable company, great founders, phenomenal product. I haven't had any issues with it. My water's always clean, my water's always cold, and it's easy to maintain. That's why I recommend the Desert Plunge. But start where you can. Start where you are, and start warmer. You can always work yourself down cold. All right, question number 4, and I love this question. Did it actually help with recovery, or is all that just hype? Well, I will say yes, it absolutely helps me with recovery, but there is a big asterisk at the end of that. If you're somebody who is really trying to gain muscle right now, I will say that you probably shouldn't cold plunge for a long period of time directly after your workout. Now, there was a big study. I actually did a video where I talked about the study where it said that cold plunging reduced muscle growth by 66%. That study was done kind of silly, and there should be some new studies around this. People weight trained and then got directly in cold water for 15 minutes. Unnecessary amount of time. Most people I know will never just jump into ice right after the workout, like rack the weight and jump in. But I will say this, there is definitely going to be some blunting of your muscle growth if you get directly in a cold plunge directly after a very good workout where you're stressing your muscle with the goal of growing your muscle. My suggestion would be this. If your goal is to grow muscle, cold plunge before your workout. There's a lot of people talking about those benefits, and personally, I experience those benefits. I love cold plunging before my workout. As you can see, my gym is outside here in Florida, so cold plunging before my workout also helps me in just feeling cooler longer, because when you're outside in Florida, you tend to sweat pretty fast. So my suggestion is cold plunge before your workouts. If you go out for a long run, if you're a runner or you're an endurance athlete, you can cold plunge directly after your runs. You can cold plunge directly after your cycling or your swimming. It might actually feel really good. And personally, I say this a lot and I'm not recommending it, but I do cold plunge after intense exercise, but only for like 30 seconds, just to cool my skin down, just to cool my body and my nervous system down. It feels really, really refreshing. And I will say this, if your goal is recovery, if your goal is to reduce inflammation, if your goal is to sleep better, cold plunge at night. I would hope that you're able to work out earlier in the day and you're not someone who has to work out at night right before sleep, because that could be affecting your sleep as well, just an experience. Maybe not you, but that's just what I see in myself. But if you're somebody who is working out earlier or middle of the day, cold plunge before you go to sleep. You'll sleep incredible, your body will recover faster, and you'll have less inflammation. That's what I've experienced. And transparently, that's one of my favorite times to cold plunge. All right, and question number 5. Was it worth it to quit my career of 20 years and become a guy who shares all of this cold plunging stuff? Was it worth it to start cold plunging when in the very beginning I had brain fog and I couldn't be a present father and I couldn't be a present person? I was always thinking of all these other things and my brain was just wired so crazily. The answer is yes. It was worth every second, worth every penny, worth every trial, worth it all. Cold plunging truly changed my life. Not just physically and mentally, but it also changed my entire career. It changed everything that I do. It changed everything that I am. And I'm so happy that it became a part of my life, that it became a part of my wife's life and became a part of my kids' life. And I've been able to share it with so many people around the world. Getting into cold water was just something I never knew would change my life, but did. And it's crazy how it started. It started by jumping into cold water behind an Airbnb when I went snowboarding with some buddies. Then I got home and I just had to fill my horse trough up with water and ice. And then I had to figure out how to build a DIY because there wasn't great options like this on the market at the time. And now I get the opportunity to review these products and share these products with you and share these products with the world. Cold plunging absolutely is worth it. I think that if you're someone who's elderly and you're extremely unhealthy, I think you should absolutely start with a short cold shower. I don't think you should go crazy. If you're somebody who loves a challenge, there's cold plunges that can create ice. But for everybody in between, a cold plunge like the Desert Plunge is a great option. Something that has a chiller so that you can manipulate that temperature and you can raise the temperature or start the temperature around 65 degrees and then slowly and gradually lower those temperatures and see what is the right temperature for you. I know people who get into 55-degree water and they're like, this is hot. I know people who get into 55-degree water and they're like, this is freezing. But none of these people are you. You have to figure out what's the right temperature for you. You have to figure out what's the right timing for you. And the only way you can do that is by jumping in. So those are the top 5 questions that I receive on a daily basis on cold plunging. And I hope my answer to those questions will help you decide if cold plunging is something you should try for yourself. If you've never done it, start with cold showers. If you have done cold showers and you're ready to step up, don't waste your time on those cheap little tent-like cold plunges. Everyone I know who buys them, though they're cheap, regrets it because it's a waste of money. Buy something that is durable, buy something that can control the water temperature and has a good filter. And my recommendation right now is gonna be the Desert Plunge. I think it's a great option. It's around $3,000. You can save some money using my discount code, and it keeps your water clean, it keeps your water cold, it's easy to maintain, and I haven't had one fail me yet. Everyone I know who buys a Desert Plunge is happy with it. So if you want to buy one, there's a link down in the description below with my discount code MAUS, that's MAUS. Make sure you use that at checkout, which is great, or just do some more research. You don't have to just buy this one. I have links down in the description below to a ton of different cold plunges I recommend, and they're all different prices, different styles, and all that. And I have a ton of videos on my channel where I explain and review a lot of these products. So don't just buy the first one that you see or the one that you see on your meta advertisements every single day. Buy the one that works best for you. Buy the one you like, and buy the one that's recommended by third parties. And at the end of the day, I hope this video gave you some value, gave you some help. If it did, please like it, share it, subscribe to the channel. Ask any questions you want down in the comments below. Guys, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you on the next video. Have a great day, my friends, and God bless. Speaking of next video, I'm gonna have a couple of them pop up right here. One of them is gonna be a review of the Desert Plunge exclusive, which is what's behind me, and the other one's gonna be a review of the Desert Plunge Wide. It's pretty sick. Check out either of these videos. Get a little more information before you make a decision.